Serper Guven, star of 90 Day Fiancé, is presently in the hospital due to cancer. Her condition is critical, according to doctors. Shikina Garner, his partner, is extremely distressed by this circumstance. Seeing her loved one in such misery prevents her from ever finding any rest. While the doctors are doing everything they can to heal Sarper, everyone is currently praying for a quick recovery. The headline, 90 Day Fiancé star Serper Guven hospitalized with cancer, soon went viral on social media and on television. After being startled, fans all around the world flooded every platform with words of love and optimism in a matter of hours. But his partner and confidant, Shikina Garner, was going through a secret, quiet anguish behind the headlines and hashtags. The world felt extremely different inside the hospital room's antiseptic, harsh walls. Nurses walked quickly, machines beeped in constant rhythms, and there was a slight antiseptic odor in the air. Sarper reclined in bed, his eyes half open but yet displaying that recognizable gleam of resolve, his once strong body now debilitated. With her fingers softly entwined with his, Shikina sat beside him. For days, she had barely slept, unable to take a break even for a brief period. Their laughter, their adventures on the show, and the way he would surprise her with simple acts of affection were all endlessly repeated in her thoughts. Now, though, the image of him gasping for air and the sporadic flinch of agony overcame those recollections. Tears streaming down her face, she said, "Stay with me. Remember how you said we would age together? You can't abandon me in this manner." Periodically, doctors entered the room, their faces formal but bearing the weight of terrible news. "We are doing everything we can," said one of them, a kind oncologist with a loving eye. "Despite his precarious state, we remain hopeful. Ms. Garner, he's a fighter. And occasionally, warriors take us all by surprise." Clinging to every word of hope, Shikina nodded. But her fears would return after the doctors left. Silently, she prayed, her thoughts racing. "Please, God, don't take him away from me. Not just yet. Give us more time." Fans gathered outside the hospital with candles and placards that said, "We believe in you," and "Stay strong, Sarper." Messages came in from all over the world, in the hopes that their support would somehow reach him. Some fans even made the long journey to stand outside. Shikina leaned close to him one night as the moon shone through the hospital window. "Are you able to hear them?" she said quietly. "Everyone is cheering you on. The entire world is in prayer." A slight smile curved Sarper's lips. "Then I can't let them down," he whispered back, his voice raspy but determined. "I can't disappoint you." Shikina's heart was sparked by those words. She straightened her shoulders and wiped away her tears. She realized that as much as Sarper needed the doctors and the medicine, he also needed her strength, her unwavering belief. From that moment, she became his shield against despair. She told him stories, reminded him of their future plans, even brought little things from home, a favorite photo, a blanket with their initials, to keep his spirit alive. Days turned into weeks, and though the battle was far from over, there were small victories. His pain lessened slightly. He began speaking more. One morning, he even insisted on sitting up, saying, "I don't want to feel like a patient anymore. I want to feel like myself." Shikina helped him, smiling through her tears, and in that moment, the room no longer felt like a place of sickness. It felt like hope. The world continued to watch closely, updates shared by close friends and media outlets. Nobody knew what the final outcome would be. But for Shikina, each new sunrise with Sarper by her side was a miracle. And so, their story became more than just reality TV drama. It became a story of love tested by the harshest of trials, of faith in the darkest of nights, and of hope that refused to die, even in the face of overwhelming odds. However, Shikina Garner never thought her love life would turn into one of the most talked about journeys on 90 Day Fiancé, the other way. But from the moment she met Serper Guven in Istanbul, sparks began to fly, both the passionate kind and the explosive kind. Their relationship was filled with romance, tears, shouting matches, and heartfelt reconciliations, making them one of the most dramatic couples in the franchise. It all began when Shikina, leaving behind her life in the United States, arrived in Turkey full of hope. She believed Sarper was the one. He was handsome, charming, and carried himself like a man who had lived through adventures. Yet very quickly, reality set in. Their first big fight erupted only a few days after her arrival. Sarper, known for his controlling tendencies, wanted Shikina to dress more conservatively while they were out in public. He felt protective, but to Shikina, it felt suffocating. On their first night out in Istanbul, she wore a short dress, confident and glowing, but Sarper pulled her aside and whispered sharply, "You are drawing too much attention. I don't like it." Shikina's fiery personality ignited instantly. "I won't change who I am for anyone, not even you," she snapped. Cameras caught every word, every tear, and fans watching at home gasped as they witnessed their first explosive argument. But the drama didn't stop there. A few weeks later, Sarper revealed something that shocked not only Shikina but also the audience. He claimed to have dated over 2,500 women before meeting her. The confession left Shikina speechless. She sat in silence, her eyes wide, struggling to process what she had just heard. "Do you expect me to feel special after knowing that number?" she asked, her voice trembling between anger and heartbreak. Sarper tried to defend himself, saying that the past didn't matter because now he was committed to her. Yet the damage was done. Viewers watched as Shikina raced out of the restaurant, her heels clicking furiously on the sidewalk, leaving Sarper racing after her. Their partnership also experienced cultural incompatibilities that regularly bubbled into spectacular showdowns. When Shikina tried to demonstrate her independence by arranging a business endeavor in Turkey, Sarper posed the proposal, suggesting she should focus on their relationship instead. This led to another violent argument. "You want a girlfriend or a prisoner?" Shikina demanded in tears. Sarper raised his voice, insisting he only wanted what was best for her. The brawl went late into the night, with doors banging and emotions running high. For viewers, it was the perfect mix of passion and turmoil that made reality TV remarkable. Yet, behind every spectacular conflict, there were also quieter, sensitive moments that muddled their story. After their confrontations, Sarper would often break down, saying how passionately he loved her. One night, after one of their worst disagreements, he showed up at her place with roses and emotional apologies. "You are the only woman who ever made me want to change," he said, his voice cracking. Shikina, though defiant, felt her heart soften. The cameras captured them embracing under the Istanbul night sky, and fans couldn't help but root for them, despite everything. When Shikina's daughter traveled from America, things took a further dramatic turn. Sarper's domineering nature clashed violently with the protective bond between mother and child. He found it difficult to accept that Shikina would always put her daughter first, which resulted in tense dinners and contentious arguments behind closed doors. Shikina had to establish the law, at one point. "My daughter will come first at all times. There is no future for us if you are unable to accept that." Sarper was shaken by the ultimatum and was compelled to reevaluate his approach to family and love. Their tumultuous relationship became the focus of attention as the season went on. Online fans argued endlessly. Was Sarper overbearing? Was Shikina being too obstinate? Were they poisonous? Or were they just two lovers at odds? Sarper leaving a therapy session in exasperation, Shikina threatening to arrange a flight home, and the heartfelt reconciliations in which they held each other and made silent vows to improve were just a few of the memorable moments that seemed to come with every new episode. The most dramatic moment to date may have occurred when Shikina packed her bags and announced her permanent departure from Turkey due to the constant tugging. Tears streaming down her face, the cameras followed her as she zipped her suitcase. With a broken voice, she declared, "I can't live like this anymore." Sarper, realizing the gravity of the situation, rushed to the airport. In one of the season's most cinematic scenes, he pleaded with her at the departure gate. "Don't go. Don't leave me. I'll change, I swear." For several long, tense moments, Shikina stood frozen, torn between love and heartbreak. And then, just as fans held their breath, she turned back, dropped her luggage, and fell into his arms. Their story is far from over, but one thing is certain. Sarper and Shikina have given fans some of the most dramatic, emotional, and unforgettable moments in 90 Day Fiancé. The other way. Their relationship is messy, complicated, passionate, and unpredictable, but it's exactly that chaos that keeps the world watching. But the night in Istanbul was heavy with silence, broken only by the faint hum of traffic outside the window of Shikina Garner's apartment. She sat at the small wooden dining table, her hands folded tightly together, her eyes fixed on the man sitting across from her, Serper Guven. The two had shared months of passion, arguments, laughter, and misunderstandings, but tonight was different. Tonight, Shikina wasn't just talking. Tonight, she was giving him an ultimatum. "Listen to me, Sarper," Shikina said, her voice steady but her heart racing. "I came here because I believed in us, because I believed that despite everything, our differences, our fights, the cultural clashes, we could find a way to build a life together. But I can't keep living like this. I need you to choose. Either you take this relationship seriously, or I walk away for good." Sarper leaned back in his chair, his sharp eyes narrowing as if trying to read her soul. He was known for being controlling, for setting the rules, for being the one who demanded and decided. But in this moment, he saw something in Shikina that he hadn't seen before, an unbreakable determination. "You think I don't take us seriously?" he asked, his tone guarded but gentler than usual. "I changed my life for you. I let you into my universe, into my heart. And now you want to threaten me with walking away?" Shikina took a deep breath. "It's not a threat, Sarper. It's the truth. You want me to obey your rules, to be the woman you image in your imagination. But I can't keep erasing who I am merely to fit into your ideal. I'm not going to let you rule me anymore. I need a collaborator, not a dictator." The air between them turned tight. Memories flooded both their minds. The first time they met, the passionate nights, the jealous arguments, the promises murmured between tears. Sarper had always thought he was guiding her, protecting her. However, Shikina had a different perspective. She noticed that she was gradually losing aspects of herself. Sarper's voice became softer when he finally replied, "You know I love you. However, you don't comprehend me. I don't trust, so I don't control. I'm afraid, so I control. I'm afraid of losing you, of being deceived, and of waking up one day and discovering you're no longer there." Shikina shook her head, yet his words briefly made her more receptive. "Sarper, love is not love if there is no faith in it. If you're afraid, let me know. Don't confine me. Keep my wings intact. I will take what's left of me and return home if you won't let me be myself, even if I left everything behind to be here with you." Her final words caused her voice to falter a little, but she kept her eyes fixed on him. He could see that she meant every word as she maintained eye contact. Sarper remained silent for a while. With his powerful fists clutched together and his chest rising and falling with labored breaths, he gazed at the table. The weight of a choice that may either strengthen or shatter them filled the room as the stillness dragged on. When he finally raised his head, his formerly flaming eyes greeted hers with vulnerability. "Will you stick with me if I let go and stop trying to control everything? Will you swear to me that you won't abandon us or abandon us?" Leaning forward, Shikina's eyes softened but remained determined. "Sarper, I can't guarantee that I won't ever depart. Nobody is able to promise that. However, I can assure you that as long as I am treated with dignity and feel like your equal rather than your property, I will stand up for us. That's my demand. Either accept it or let me go." Sarper took a deep breath. The man who believed he could control any circumstance now sat beside a lady who would not compromise. He understood then that love was about letting go, about trusting someone enough to let them be themselves, not about controlling them. He slowly extended his hand across the table and covered hers. Although his hold was tight, it wasn't about dominance for the first time. It was about making a connection. His voice was full with emotion as he said, "Then I choose you." nor my regulations, nor my anxieties. Only you. Shikina's eyes filled with tears, but she brushed them away and squeezed his palm back. She was aware that this was only the start of a lengthy process, and that demands couldn't suddenly break long-standing patterns. However, it was a beginning, and she felt hope for the first time in a long time. Outside, Istanbul's city lights blazed against the night sky, serving as a reminder that life was beautiful, chaotic, and unpredictable. And in that tiny apartment, Sarper and Shikina sat together in brittle silence, not as strangers or adversaries, but as two individuals who were at last prepared to re-establish their love on equal terms. Greetings, dear viewers, greetings from my channel. I'm Amelia. I hope you're having a great day. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the video.